Welcome to Sleepy Science Wonders. This is a harbor for the curious. For those who love science but feel lost in the noise of speed. For those who love asking questions but sense that some answers are hidden inside silence. Every video here begins the same way. With a breath. With a slowing down. And with a journey. If this channel speaks to you, you can like, subscribe, or leave a thought below. It helps others find their way here too. But for now, just let go. Just be here. Right now, in this silence. Feel your body. Its weight. The surface beneath you. The way your back, your shoulders, your legs have settled. Let everything sink a little lower. Let that weight gently increase. Take a deep breath. And slowly, let it go. Tonight, I want to tell you about a journey. But this is not a journey that goes far away. It begins inside. Because more than 60% of your body is water. The blood flowing through your veins, water. The moisture that keeps your eyes soft, water. Right now, even as you sleep, what you breathe out, water vapor. You are already inside this story. You always have been. Now, with the eye of your mind, picture this. Darkness. An infinite darkness. No star, no sound, no shape. Only emptiness, and the deep silence within it. Stay there for a moment. Feel that emptiness. Now, a vibration begins. Almost imperceptible. Barely there. But from that vibration, everything emerges. Light, heat, motion. The first breath of the universe. The Big Bang. And in those very first moments, before anything else, hydrogen is born. The simplest element in the universe. One proton, one electron. Nothing more. But within that simplicity, the entire future of the universe is hidden. Those hydrogen atoms are dancing inside water right now. Take a deep breath, and feel that truth. 14 billion years. The mind cannot truly grasp that number. No one can. But think of it this way, those hydrogen atoms born in the first moments drifted into nebulae. Into the great clouds of gas where stars are born. There they waited for millions of years. Then the pull of a star drew them inward. They wandered through that star's blazing heart. Perhaps that star died, exploding and scattering everything into space. Perhaps those fragments joined another cloud. Perhaps 100 million more years passed. And finally, they found oxygen. And water was born. That water drifted for billions more years. Frozen in the icy tail of a comet. Silent in the cold of space. Until the Earth formed. Until those comets fell, hundreds and thousands of times, onto this young planet. And today, that water is in you. You don't have to strain your mind to feel this. Just know it. And let that knowledge rest quietly somewhere inside you. You are part of a cosmic continuity. Now, feel your body once more. Your hands. Or the warmth of your skin on your face. Your heart's quiet, steady beat. With every beat, blood is pumped. Most of that blood is water. And that water comes from a journey of billions of years, arriving, right now, to rest inside you. Water never disappears. It only transforms. It evaporates, it rains. It freezes, it melts. It joins a cloud, becomes a river, seeps into the earth, enters roots, exits through leaves. And begins again. With every breath, you take part in this cycle. When you breathe out, some of the water molecules inside you mix into the air. Perhaps they will join a cloud. Perhaps they will become rain. Perhaps they will sink into the roots of a forest. You are part of this cycle. You always have been. With the eye of your mind, picture this. The early days of Earth. Volcanoes everywhere. A sky thick with smoke. The surface all rock and fire. Not a single drop of water anywhere. But from far away, things are coming. Comets. Asteroids. Frozen fragments from space. Each one small, but together. Earth cools. And that water vapor slowly becomes rain. It rains for centuries. It rains for millions of years. Valleys begin to fill. Seas form. And one day, Earth becomes a blue planet. Still blue. Still the same water. How much water is on Earth right now has barely changed. The water you drank today may once have drifted through a dinosaur's breath. Or rested for millions of years at the bottom of an ancient sea. Or been frozen inside a glacier as a waiting drop. Water doesn't disappear. It only changes. Watch your breath for a moment. The way your lungs expand and contract. The rise and fall of your chest. Inside that rhythm, there is water. Moistening the air, carrying sound, cooling your body. With every breath, you join this cycle. And with every breath, a journey of billions of years continues inside you. When you think of a drop of water, what do you see? Perhaps something small, transparent, ordinary. But inside that drop, the echo of the Big Bang lives. The legacy of dying stars lives. A voyage carried by comets lives. And the patience of billions of years, waiting to reach you. Every drop, a story. Every drop, a universe. Feel your body now. Heavy. Calm. Still. Just like water, flows easily along a flat path, finds the most comfortable way, without resistance. Let your thoughts flow the same way tonight. Without force. And simply be here. In this silence. In this wait. In this stillness. We drifted here from the first drop of time. And now let us feel what is hidden inside that drop. How did that water form? Where did the atoms inside it come from? You don't even need to close your eyes to ask these questions. Just breathe, and let the answer come to you. Take a deep breath. And let go. Inside the most ordinary things, the universe's greatest stories are hidden. A glass of water. Sitting on a table. Transparent, cool, silent. You pick it up. You drink. And for a moment, you don't think about where that water came from. But tonight, we will think. And we won't just think. We will feel. Every atom inside that water comes from two separate stories. One, very ancient. From the first seconds of the universe. The other, dramatic. From exploding stars. And these two stories searched for each other across billions of years. Until they finally came together to form the water molecule. Now, with the eye of your mind, picture this. The universe has just been born. Less than a second has passed. Everything is unimaginably hot, unimaginably dense. Even light cannot travel straight through this density. Everything collides, separates, and reunites. And within that chaos, protons are forming. Alone. Tiny. But determined. Each proton is the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. The universe's first building block. The simplest structure. One proton, one electron. Nothing else. But this simplicity is a beginning. What did those first hydrogen atoms do? They drifted. For millions of years they drifted. With the expansion of the universe, they scattered in every direction. Space grew cold. It darkened. And within that great silence, hydrogen atoms began slowly coming together. Gravity. Invisible but indispensable. Atoms gathered. Clouds formed. Clouds condensed. And at a certain point, that density grew so great that fire began. The first star ignited in the darkness. Can you feel this? After billions of years of darkness, the first light. Feel your body now. The softening of your shoulders. The slowing of your breath. Let the image of that first light stay in your mind for a moment. Bright, alone, in the middle of infinite darkness. That star was burning for you. Without yet knowing it. So where did oxygen come from? This is where the story deepens. When the universe began, there was no oxygen. None at all. Only hydrogen and a small amount of helium. Oxygen is something the universe learned later, and it needed stars to learn it. Now imagine a massive star in the theater of your mind. Much larger than our sun. Perhaps 10 times, perhaps 20. Its interior blazing. That immense gravity compresses the star's center so tightly that temperatures reach unimaginable numbers. And there, in that heart, a fusion begins. Hydrogen becomes helium. Helium becomes carbon. And carbon becomes oxygen. Inside the star's heart, atoms are reborn. Take a deep breath. That oxygen is in your lungs right now. In your blood right now. Inside you right now, as part of water. It was born in the heart of a star. And billions of years later, it reached you. But how? Because that star had to die. Massive stars cannot live long. Their fuel runs out. And when the fuel is gone, they collapse inward. That collapse is so fast, so violent, that on the other side, an explosion occurs. A supernova. One of the universe's greatest explosions. A dying star burns brighter than an entire galaxy in its final breath. And everything it gathered inside, every atom, every element, it hurls into space. Oxygen flies with them. At speeds close to the speed of light. In every direction. Into infinite space. See this in your mind's eye. A massive star glowing in the dark universe. Then, for a single moment, brighter than everything. And then, it scatters. Atoms accumulated over millions of years, suddenly flying in every direction. Among those scattered atoms, is oxygen. Your oxygen. And what did that oxygen do? It drifted. Just like hydrogen. In the cold and darkness of space. Sometimes it joined other clouds. Sometimes it passed near other stars. Sometimes it stuck to the surface of frozen particles. Millions of years. Perhaps billions. And finally, it met hydrogen. Feel this meeting. Two atoms. One from the universe's first seconds. The other from the ashes of a dying star. Both drifted separately for billions of years. Both passed through countless journeys. And one day, they came together. H2O. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. Water. Take a deep breath. That molecule now exists. And from the moment it came into existence, everything changed. Because water resembles nothing else. It looks like a simple union of 2 atoms. But in that union, something exists that sets it apart from the rest of the universe. An angle. A geometry. An imbalance. And that imbalance makes everything possible. Every water you drink holds 2 different stories. One very old, very quiet. The calm, solitary hydrogen of the universe's first seconds. The other dramatic, brilliant, born from death. The oxygen of exploding stars. These 2 meet inside you. Every sip, a cosmic reunion. Feel your body now. Your hands. The warmth of your skin on your face. The slow rise and fall of your stomach. Every water molecule inside that body comes from 2 different stories. One from the Big Bang, the other from a supernova. You carry 2 different eras of the universe inside you. Sometimes I think about this. An ordinary glass of water. Sitting on a table. No one watching. No one noticing. But in that glass, the entire history of the universe. The first light in the darkness. Stars that burned and died. Billions of years of patience. And that water is in you now. Carrying you. Cooling you. Making you think. Carrying you towards sleep. Feel your breath. Slow. Deep. Steady. With every breath, water vapor enters. With every release, a little escapes. This exchange never stops. It continues even as you sleep. Even as you dream. Even while sleeping, you are in an exchange with the universe. Great stars died, so that you could live. This is not a metaphor. This is, quite literally, chemistry. Without oxygen you cannot breathe. Without water you cannot live. And that oxygen, that water, comes from dying stars. Let this feeling rest somewhere inside you. Don't rush. We drifted here from the light poured from the stars. We felt hydrogen's billions of years of solitude. The silent journey of oxygen scattered by supernovas. And that meeting between the 2, unlike any other in the universe. Now, come a little closer. To that molecule. To that small, 3-atom, silent miracle. Because water does something in this universe that nothing else can do. It exists in 3 different forms, at the same time. Take a deep breath. Let your lungs expand. Let your stomach soften. Let your shoulders settle a little lower. Now think. How many different forms of water are around you right now? Perhaps a glass. Liquid. Fluid. Adapting to every container, filling every space. Perhaps there is cold air outside. And in that air, moisture. Invisible, but there. As water vapor. As gas. Waiting somewhere, drifting somewhere. Perhaps there is ice somewhere. Frozen. Hard. Holding its shape, conforming to nothing. The same molecule. 3 different souls. And these 3 can sometimes exist together, in the same place, at the same time. To understand this, imagine the peak of a mountain. A high mountain. Very high. Where the air is thinning, where pressure is dropping. Silent. A windless moment. Look there. Small ice crystals on the rocks. Frozen by the cold. Solid. But at the exact same moment, from the edges of those crystals, very very slowly, water vapor is rising. Without melting. Without first becoming liquid. Directly becoming gas. From solid to gas. Without taking even one step in between. And again at the exact same moment, moisture in the air, water vapor, is slowly settling onto those ice crystals. Freezing directly. Solid, liquid, gas. All at once. All at the same point. Water lives all three states simultaneously. Think about this. How many times in your life have you seen something exist in three different forms at once? People are not like this. Something is either hard or soft. Either still or flowing. Either liquid or solid. But water is both. And all three. At the same time. This is not a metaphor. This is chemistry. This is physics. This is real. Take a deep breath. Now go a little further inside. Science has given this a name. The triple point. The one precise temperature and pressure where all three states of water truly coexist. Very delicate. Very fragile. But real. In laboratories, scientists establish this balance. And they watch a tiny droplet. That droplet simultaneously freezes and evaporates. Both solid and liquid and gas. It doesn't have to choose one. It belongs to all. Now feel your body. Carry this feeling into your body. Pause for a moment. Sometimes you might feel this way too. Not quite here, not quite somewhere else. Not completely awake, not completely asleep. In a moment of transition. On a threshold. Water knows exactly that feeling. Because water always lives on a threshold. This close to being solid, this close to being gas, but neither. Liquid. Fluid. Knowing both but not fully belonging to either. Perhaps sleep is something like this too. Not fully awake, not fully lost. A place between the two. Like water's triple point. Now take a step back. And see the bigger picture. Why can water exist in three states? The answer is hidden inside it. In the molecule itself. Remember? 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. But these atoms don't line up in a straight line. They sit at a slightly bent angle. And that bent angle gives the molecule an electrical imbalance. One side slightly positive, the other slightly negative. This imbalance changes everything. When temperature is high, molecules vibrate so fast they can't hold each other. They separate. They scatter. They become gas. When temperature drops, vibration slows. Molecules hold each other. They enter an ordered structure. They become solid. In between, they neither escape nor lock together. They slide alongside each other. They flow. Take a deep breath. And feel this. With every breath, water molecules in your lungs are vibrating. They are in motion from your body's warmth. But that vibration is slow enough to keep them together. They stay liquid. They stay with you. If you were too cold inside, they would freeze. If you were too hot, they would evaporate. Exactly this temperature, exactly this balance, makes you who you are. Now build another scene in the theater of your mind. A cloud. In the sky, white, billowing, heavy. Carrying hundreds of tons of water. But that water is invisible. Because each of those droplets is so small, the upward movement of air alone is enough to hold them. Inside that cloud, all three states coexist too. Some droplets haven't yet turned to ice but are ready to freeze. Below zero, still liquid. Waiting. A dust particle, a crystal seed, a vibration, is enough. Some droplets have already frozen. Tiny ice crystals. But they are still flying, not falling. And between them, a constant transition. Liquid becoming ice. Ice melting and becoming liquid again. Vapor condensing into a droplet. A droplet evaporating and disappearing again. A cloud, simultaneously solid, liquid, and gas. And you pass underneath it without ever thinking about this. You drive. You walk. You look up. You say, cloud. But that cloud is a miracle that physics textbooks describe across pages, that laboratories try to replicate. Relax a little more. Feel your body's weight. The contact of your legs with the ground. The rhythm of your breath. Is that rhythm slowing? Good. Let it slow. Now let's talk about ice. Because ice does something that is completely different from everything else in the universe. Think about this, when you heat water, it expands. We understand this. Most things expand when heated. But what happens when water is cooled? It contracts, like other liquids. Shrinks. Becomes denser. But just above the freezing point, something changes. Just before it begins to freeze, water starts to expand. Instead of contracting. Instead of becoming denser. The opposite. And this saved the world. Think about this for a moment. If water behaved like other liquids, ice would sink to the bottom. Lakes and oceans would begin freezing from the bottom up. Every winter, the floors would solidify. The upper parts would freeze too. And again, eventually everything would turn into a solid block of ice. Nothing could live beneath it. But ice floats. Why does it float? Because when water freezes, molecules enter a lattice structure. A hexagonal lattice. And this lattice keeps them a little farther apart from each other. So in solid form it is less dense. In liquid form it is denser, heavier. This is why ice rests on top of water. And that floating ice works like a blanket. Protecting the water below from the cold. Reflecting sunlight. Keeping the ecosystem beneath stable. Fish swim. Plants grow. Life continues. Under the ice. Take a deep breath. And feel this. This is one of the universe's greatest coincidences. Or perhaps not a coincidence at all, perhaps a quiet design of the universe. The molecule's angle. That bent geometry. That small electrical imbalance. Everything starts there. From there comes ice floating. From there comes life's continuation. Just a few degrees different would have been enough. And this world would be a completely different place. Perhaps a place with no life at all. Close your eyes. Or if they are already closed, go a little deeper into that closed darkness. Imagine a lake. Winter. The surface frozen. White, matte, silent. Perhaps snow is falling. Everything covered. But go beneath the ice. Your mind is there. Under the ice ceiling. Cold but unfrozen water. Silent. It looks motionless but isn't. Inside there are slow currents. Invisible currents born from differences in temperature. And something lives there. Fish. Slow, adapted to the cold, requiring little oxygen. Mosses. Microorganisms. There is an ice ceiling, but beneath it is an entire world. A world that would not have existed if ice didn't float. Feel your body again. Your lungs expanding, contracting. The moist air you take in. And you distribute it inside you. Then give it back. Your body is such a place too. Holding water in different forms. Liquid in the blood. Moisture in the breath. Perhaps a small dry patch on your lips, perhaps a tear in the corner of your eye. Always the same molecule. Always different forms. We drifted here from a being of three souls. We felt water existing in solid, liquid, and gas simultaneously. We saw how life is hidden inside ice floating. And now, we go a little deeper. Because water doesn't stop at just existing in three states. It also breaks its own rules. It doesn't behave the way you expect. It surprises you at the moment you think you've figured it out. And inside that surprise, some of the world's deepest secrets are hidden. Take a deep breath. Let the breath fill your lungs. Slowly. Without hurry. And release. Feel your body's weight. Your back, your shoulders, your legs touching the surface beneath you. Let that weight gently increase with every breath. Let yourself settle. Because what I am about to share tonight is not something to be understood in a rush. It needs to be felt. Now think of this. I have a glass of water in my hands. I'm cooling it very slowly. Very carefully. Not touching anything, not dropping anything into it. Just cooling it. 0 degrees arrives. The water is still liquid. -1 degree. Still liquid. -5 degrees. Still flowing. -10 degrees, and still not a single ice crystal. Is this possible? Yes. This is called supercooling. And water is extraordinarily gifted at this. Because for ice to form, something is needed. A starting point. A nucleus. Even a tiny dust particle, a tiny surface irregularity, a tiny vibration is enough. Ice grows starting from that point. Crystals take shape around that nucleus. But if the water is completely pure, if there is no dust, no impurity, and if the container is perfectly smooth, water cannot find a starting point to freeze. And it waits. Far below zero, still liquid. Ready to freeze but unable to begin. Suspended at a threshold. Like a decision waiting to be made. Picture this in your mind's eye. A droplet of water. High up, inside a cloud. The air around it is -15 degrees. Everything looks frozen. But that droplet is still liquid. Small. Round. Suspended. Like a waiting moment. And then, a dust particle passes nearby. Or another ice crystal touches it. And in an instant, everything changes. Freezing begins. That tiny droplet enters a crystal structure in a blink of a second. In a fraction of a second, from liquid to solid. Without any pause. Water knows how to wait. And when the right moment comes, it wastes no time. Take a deep breath. Sometimes you might feel this way too. You're on the threshold of something. A decision, a transformation, a change. Everything seems ready. But it hasn't begun yet. Water knows this too. It doesn't begin before the right moment. And when the right moment arrives, it begins completely. Now think of something else. You have two containers of water. One you filled with cold water. The other with hot. You put both in the freezer. Which one freezes first? Logic says, the cold one. Because it's already at a lower temperature. When you put it in the freezer, it needs to cool less. It has a shorter distance to travel. But sometimes, the hot one freezes first. How is this possible? Science calls this the Mpemba effect. And this name comes from a beautiful story. 1963, Tanzania. A young student named Erasto Mpemba. They are making ice cream in cooking class. And Erasto, in a rush, puts the hot mixture in the freezer. Without waiting for it to cool. And he notices. His ice cream freezes before those who put in the cold mixture. He asks his teacher. The teacher doesn't believe him. His friends laugh. You're wrong, they say. But Erasto is not wrong. Years later, he works on this effect with a physics professor. And they announce it to the world. Hot water can sometimes freeze before cold water. Why? Science is still not entirely sure. And this is actually a beautiful thing. We have been studying water for centuries. Examining it from every angle. And there is still something inside it we cannot fully understand. Some theories say, hot water evaporates faster. So less water remains. Less water freezes faster. Some say, hot water rapidly loses its dissolved gases. And the absence of those gases makes freezing easier. Some say, hot water melts ice residue in the container. And the absence of ice residue changes freezing. Perhaps all are true. Perhaps none are complete. But the result is the same. Water sometimes does exactly the opposite of what you expect. Take a deep breath. And stay inside this idea for a moment. The simplest things sometimes carry the deepest secrets. A glass of water. You see it hundreds of times a day. But inside it, there is still a mystery that scientists haven't fully solved. What does this make you feel? Perhaps not fully understanding something, sometimes makes it more beautiful. Now let me take you somewhere else. In winter, car windshields freeze. A thin layer of ice forms on the glass overnight. And in the morning, you see that ice. But sometimes you notice this, ice everywhere but not in some places. An irregular pattern. As if ice grew wherever it wanted. And this is true. Ice chooses where it wants to grow. Because ice needs a starting point to grow. A dust particle. A surface irregularity. A crack. It starts from that point and spreads. It converts the surrounding water into crystal. It branches, grows, expands. And every growth follows a different path. Because every dust particle is in a different place. Every irregularity is at a different angle. Every moment brings a different air current. This is why no two ice patterns are alike. Just as no two snowflakes are alike. See this in the theater of your mind. A winter night. Cold, silent, windless. The sky is clear. Stars are shining. And high up, inside a cloud, a small water droplet hangs suspended. Everything around it has frozen. But it, still liquid. Supercooled. At -15 degrees, still ready to flow. Then a small ice crystal touches it. And that droplet begins to grow. In 6 directions at once. Because the geometry of the water molecule forces this. Hexagonal symmetry. Every arm growing at exactly a 60-degree angle. It grows and grows. New branches appear on each arm. Each branch reaches a different length according to the humidity and temperature of that moment. Takes a different shape. And finally, it falls to the ground. A snowflake. Unique. Unrepeatable. Falling right into your hand. And you look at it. Take a deep breath. Feel your body. Your hands. Your fingers. Even if there is no snowflake right now, imagine that feeling. That cold touch. That small, transparent, delicate lattice. That snowflake didn't come into being in an instant. The shape of each of its arms was determined during that small journey inside the cloud. What humidity existed at what altitude? How cold it was at which moment? From which direction the wind was blowing? That snowflake is a record of all these moments. A small diary kept in nature's own handwriting. Water doesn't behave the way you expect. It needs a starting point to freeze. It sometimes freezes faster when hot. It sometimes remains liquid far below zero. It always makes 6-armed crystals. And it never repeats the same pattern. All this strangeness comes from the same place. That small molecule. That bent angle. That electrical imbalance. Everything emerges from there. We drifted here from silence beyond expectation. We felt how water breaks its own rules. We witnessed the supercooled droplet. We shared Mpemba's wonder. We watched the snowflake's unique journey. And now, we go much further away. To the edges of the solar system. To places where ice and storm reign. To depths that human eyes will never see. Because water is not confined to our planet alone. It exists in much stranger places, in much stranger forms. Take a deep breath. Let the breath fill your lungs. Slow. Silent. And release. Close your eyes. Or keep them open but soften your gaze. Let the surroundings blur. Let your mind expand a little. Because tonight, I will take you very far away. But first, feel your body. Its warmth. The firmness of the surface beneath you. The safety of being inside this moment, this room, this silence. Without leaving here, we will look very far away. Think of the outermost planets of the solar system. Uranus. Neptune. So far from the sun, that for 1 year to pass there, more than 100 years must pass on Earth. Cold. Dark. Stormy. Wind speeds on Uranus can exceed 700 kilometers per hour. On Neptune, wind speeds approach the speed of sound. The solar system's most violent storms blow there. A place where nothing can stand still, where nothing can remain upright. But beneath those storms, something much deeper exists. Visualize this in your mind's eye. You are diving into that blue-green atmosphere. The wind could toss you but you pass through. You deepen. And as you deepen, the pressure increases. By hundreds. By thousands. By tens of thousands. For every 10 meters of depth on Earth the pressure of the entire atmosphere increases. But here you're not going 10 meters deeper, you're going thousands of kilometers. The pressure is now at unimaginable levels. And under that pressure, water changes. Science calls this superionic ice. And this name describes something you could never see naturally anywhere on Earth. What happens in normal ice? Oxygen and hydrogen atoms together form a lattice structure. Both stay in place. Both are motionless. But under that immense pressure, at that unimaginable temperature, oxygen atoms build a rigid lattice. They lock into their places. They don't move. Completely solid. But hydrogen atoms within that lattice remain free. They flow. They move. They glide through the lattice. Pause for a moment. Let us feel this. Simultaneously both solid and liquid. Oxygen's frozen. Hydrogen's flowing. These two states, inside the same substance, at the same time. And that substance is water. But this water resembles no water you have ever known. It emits light. A faint luminescence. It conducts electricity. It generates magnetic fields. Scientists could not fully understand Uranus and Neptune's strange, irregular magnetic fields for years. Because these planets' magnetic fields don't emerge from the center like Earth's. They are curved. Asymmetric. Strange. And the answer may come from this superionic ice. Electric currents formed by those flowing hydrogens. Inside billions of tons of superionic ice on these planets, invisible rivers flowing. Their magnetic fields may be shaped by this strange state of water inside them. Take a deep breath. Feel your body. The silent rhythm of your heart. The flow of blood through your veins. Aren't you something like this too? Outside fixed. The structure of your bones, muscles, and skin stays in place. But inside flowing. Blood, water, energy. Moving constantly. Outside solid, inside liquid. Just like superionic ice. Now go a little deeper. In laboratories, scientists tried to recreate this superionic ice. They used laser beams. They used diamond anvils. They pressed two diamonds together with their tips facing each other. They placed a tiny droplet of water between them. And they compressed that droplet so much, they created a pressure close to the pressure in Neptune's depths. And for a moment, superionic ice formed. Just a moment. As brief as a laser pulse. But it was real. Scientists saw that moment. Measured it. Recorded it. And they understood, right now, inside Neptune, there are millions of tons of superionic ice. Rotating. Flowing. Glowing. Under the storms. In the darkness. Return to the theater of your mind. You are inside that blue-green planet. Everything dark around you. Pressure squeezing you from all sides. And ahead, something glows. Faint. Almost imperceptible. But there. Superionic ice. Both solid and liquid. Both frozen and flowing. Generating electricity. Drawing magnetic fields. And doing all this, for millions of years. Without anyone watching. Without anyone knowing. Until we, with our small telescopes and lasers, found it. But that's not all. Because something else is also happening on Neptune. And this may be the most poetic truth you have ever heard about the universe. In Neptune's atmosphere there is methane. A simple gas made of carbon and hydrogen. But deep in that atmosphere, the pressure is so great, those methane molecules break apart. Carbon and hydrogen separate from each other. And those carbon atoms bond to each other. They compress. They condense. And under that density, diamond forms. Stop for a moment. In Neptune's atmosphere, it rains diamonds. Small diamond fragments. Crystal. Brilliant. Forming inside the deep pressure. And then, slowly falling downward. For millions of years. Layer by layer. Some scientists think, perhaps near Neptune's core, those diamonds have accumulated. Perhaps a vast diamond ocean has formed. Or diamond glaciers. Mountains made of diamond. And passing through that diamond rain, what? Water. Superionic ice flowing. Gliding between diamonds. Rotating with them. Take a deep breath. For this moment. For this knowledge. Something like this exists for you. In the depths of a cold and dark planet in our solar system, diamonds are raining. And water's strange, unexpected state, is flowing there. No one watching. No one feeling. But it's happening. Happening right now. Feel your body now. Your hands. Or the warmth of your face. The sound of your breath. Right now somewhere in the universe diamonds are raining. Somewhere else superionic ice is glowing. Somewhere else stars are being born and dying. And you are here. Inside this silence. In this warmth. In this safety. Both are real. Both the storms of that distant planet and the silence of this room. At the same time. In the same universe. We drifted here from the secret at the heart of planets. We felt the theater of diamond rain in Neptune's depths. We felt superionic ice being both solid and liquid. We touched the water in the universe's most distant corners. And now, we return to something much closer. To your palm. Because the same miracle exists at a much smaller scale, much closer by. Every winter. Every snowfall. In every single snowflake. Take a deep breath. Let the breath slowly fill your lungs. Pause. And release. Feel your body's weight. Your shoulders. The edges of your hands. Your fingertips. Let everything soften with every breath. Let your muscles relax. Tonight we are looking at very small things. But small things, sometimes carry the greatest truths. Think of a snowflake. An average snowflake is 1/10 of a millimeter. Hard to see with the naked eye. When it falls on your hand, it melts within a second or two. Your body's warmth takes it immediately. But in those 1 or 2 seconds, if you could see it, what you would see is breathtaking. 6 arms. Each arm separated from the others at exactly 60 degrees. Branches on each arm. Smaller branches on each branch. And this structure, inside a perfect symmetry. Whatever one side does, the exact opposite side does the same. As if a mirror were held up. Then another mirror. In 6 directions. And at the center, a tiny dust particle. A grain of sea salt. Or a piece of ash. The place where this journey began. How does it form? Everything begins with a dust particle. Inside the cloud, millions of tiny water droplets exist. Floating, colliding, separating again. But they are looking for a starting point to freeze. And that dust particle arrives. The first water molecule attaches to it. Then the second comes. And the bent geometry of the water molecule, that angle, that electrical imbalance, forces the crystal to grow in a certain direction. 6 directions. Always 6. Because that inner angle of the water molecule allows bonding in the way that best fits a hexagonal structure. It cannot bond any other way. It cannot grow any other way. Geometry forces it. Picture this in your mind's eye. A tiny dust particle, floating inside a cloud. Silently. Going nowhere in a hurry. And the first water molecule attaches to it. Then the second. Third. And slowly it begins growing in 6 directions. In that moment, this snowflake's destiny is being decided. But exactly how it will grow, no one knows. Because every growth step depends on the conditions of that moment. How humid is the air right now? How many degrees is it? From which direction is the wind blowing? The answers to these questions change every second. And every change gives the crystal a different shape. An arm grows a little longer. A branch shortens slightly. A new protrusion forms. Another place flattens. And until this snowflake falls to the ground, this process never stops. Take a deep breath. Think about this. The shape of every snowflake is a record of all the moments that snowflake lived while falling from cloud to ground. What humidity existed at what altitude? How cold it was at which moment? From which direction the wind blew? Which other crystals it encountered? Every snowflake carries its own biography. Engraved in its crystal structure. Written in an invisible ink. Millions of decisions, millions of conditions. And the result, a unique shape. No 2 snowflakes are alike. You have heard this sentence. Perhaps it seemed ordinary. Perhaps you said, yes, yes, and moved on. But stop for a moment. Really think. How many snowflakes fall on the world each year? Estimates say, 1 billion billion. Written in numbers, a 1 followed by 18 zeros. This many snowflakes fall every winter. And these winters have continued for how many years? Millions of years. Throughout all this time, in all the snowflakes that have fallen, no 2 have ever been alike. How is this possible? Because the possibilities are infinite. Think of how many different arms a snowflake can have. How many different lengths each arm can take. How many different angles each branch can emerge from. The number of these combinations is far greater than the total number of atoms in the universe. So mathematically, 2 snowflakes being identical is nearly impossible. Nearly. But it never happened. Feel your body. Your breath. Your heart's rhythm. The weight of your eyelids if they are closed. And think, you are the same way. Among the billions of people the universe has created until now, there has been no one else who thinks like you, feels like you, has your past, carries your memories, is in your exact state in this exact moment. Just like a snowflake. Every moment you experience, shapes you. Just like humidity and temperature shape the snowflake. And the result, is unique. Now go a little further inside. We talked about the beautiful outside of the snowflake. But what happens inside? Water molecules vibrate inside that crystal structure. This vibration never stops. Even in the coldest ice. Even in the most calm, most motionless-looking crystal, atoms oscillate, vibrate, rotate around themselves. This is called zero-point motion. Even at absolute zero, water molecules don't completely stop, because quantum mechanics doesn't allow it. Inside every atom, there is an indelible energy. Complete stillness is impossible. Enter the theater of your mind. You are inside a snowflake. Inside a tiny, crystalline corridor. Hexagonal structures extending on every side. Symmetrical. Perfect. But inside that perfect structure, everything is vibrating. Atoms rotating around themselves. Bonds stretching and releasing. Energy resonating through this small crystal labyrinth. This place is not silent. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. Like an orchestra. Each instrument on a different note, but together, forming a harmony. A crystal symphony. Take a deep breath. Feel this vibration. Feel the vibration inside yourself. You are never completely still either. Your heart beats. Your blood flows. Your neurons fire. Millions of reactions in your cells continue. From the outside, perhaps you look calm. Perhaps motionless. But inside, an orchestra. Water understands this. Everything is in a cycle. Everything continues. Nothing is truly lost. Feel your body again. Your hands. Your feet. The slow rise and fall of your stomach. Right now water molecules inside you are vibrating too. Rotating. Bonding and separating. You are not a crystal. But inside you, crystal geometry is flowing. In your bones. In your cells. In the double helix of your DNA. Everywhere there is geometry. Everywhere there is order. Water brings this order to you. Now build one last scene in your mind's eye. Night. Snow is falling. Silent, heavy, slow. You are looking through a window. Or you are outside. Or you are just imagining it. Every snowflake falls carrying its own labyrinth. Each unique. Each short-lived. Each having grown and decided while growing and taken shape while growing, starting from that tiny dust particle. And all of them are falling toward you. Perhaps some touch your skin. Feel cold for a moment. Then melt. In that moment, millions of years of geometry merges with you. And you take that water inside you. The crystal labyrinth continues in you. We drifted here from crystal labyrinths. We felt that unique geometry of the snowflake. We heard the vibration of every molecule. We saw that nothing truly disappears, only transforms. And now, we go even smaller. To a single molecule. To that three-atom, tiny, silent being. Because all of water's miracles, all its strange behaviors, all its unexpected properties, everything comes from a single thing. The shape of that molecule. Take a deep breath. Let your lungs expand. Pause. And release. Feel your shoulders. Let them drop. Feel your jaw. Let it relax. Feel your eyebrows. Let them soften too. With every breath, go a little more inside. A little calmer. Tonight we are looking at something very small. But that small thing explains everything. 2 hydrogen. 1 oxygen. You know this. H2O. But have you ever thought about this question? How are these three atoms arranged? In a straight line. Hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, 3 points, a single line. No. Bent. The two hydrogen atoms are on either side of the oxygen, but not directly to the sides. A little below. The angle between them is approximately 104 degrees. Why not exactly 180? Why not a straight line? Because oxygen has two more pairs of electrons. These take up space around the atom. And this crowding pushes the hydrogen atoms slightly downward. Looks like a small detail. But this angle changes everything. Now pay attention. Oxygen pulls electrons strongly. Hydrogen does so weakly. So in the sharing between the two, the electron stays closer to oxygen. And this creates an imbalance. The side where oxygen is becomes slightly more negatively charged. The side where the hydrogens are becomes slightly more positively charged. Now picture this in your mind's eye. A tiny water molecule. Oxygen in the center. Hydrogens on either side. And above it, a sign. One side positive. The other side negative. Small, invisible, but a real electrical division. This molecule is actually a tiny magnet. One pole positive, the other pole negative. Just as one pole attracts the other, these molecules attract each other. The positive side leans toward a neighbor's negative side. The negative side approaches another's positive side. And between them, a bond forms. A hydrogen bond. This bond is not very strong, but very numerous. In a glass of water, there are more than 1 sextillion water molecules. And each can bond with its neighbors at 4 different points. Think about this. Billions upon billions of molecules. Each a tiny magnet. And all attracting each other. Holding on to each other. Moving together. And this network changes every moment. Take a deep breath. Feel this network. Right now inside your water, these bonds are forming and breaking. 1 trillion times per second. One bond breaks, a new bond forms somewhere else. Never stops. Never slows. You don't feel this. Not large enough to feel. But it's happening. Right now. In your veins. In your cells. Inside your eyes. Why is this hydrogen bond so important? Because it does everything. First, it holds water together. Many other liquids don't have bonds this strong. So they evaporate much more easily. Water, however, because its molecules cling to each other, requires much more energy to evaporate. This is why water has a high boiling point. And this is why it can exist as liquid on Earth's surface. If these bonds didn't exist, water would evaporate at a much lower temperature. Liquid water couldn't remain on Earth's surface. Oceans wouldn't form. And life couldn't begin. Second, it stores heat. Water requires a lot of energy to warm up. So it heats slowly. But at the same time, it cools slowly. Why? Because heat energy is first used to break these hydrogen bonds. Not just to raise temperature. It works on these bonds first. And this is why water is an immense heat reservoir. Oceans absorb the sun's energy and release it slowly. Seasons are this regular because of this. Coastal cities are more temperate than inland regions because of this. All of it, from that small hydrogen bond. Enter the theater of your mind. Ocean. Vast, deep, blue. The sun rises. Rays touch the water. And the water slowly warms. But you don't feel it. Too slow. Evening comes. The sun sets. And the water slowly cools. But the city on the shore is still warm. Because the ocean takes the heat it received during the day and slowly gives it back at night. Like a blanket. A giant, blue, salty blanket. And what maintains this order? Those tiny hydrogen bonds. Third, it dissolves everything. Water is known as the universal solvent. Why? Because those positive and negative poles surround everything. Think of a salt crystal. Sodium and chloride ions, held together by strong bonds. A solid, hard structure. But you drop it in water. And those tiny magnets orient towards sodium and chloride. The positive sides are attracted to the negative chloride. The negative sides approach the positive sodium. And slowly, they dissolve that strong bond. The crystal breaks apart. The ions mix into the water. The salt melts. This seems like a simple chemical event. But its consequences are enormous. Minerals inside soil are dissolved by water. Carried to plant roots. Plants grow. Minerals inside blood are dissolved the same way. And this is why blood can carry oxygen. Can carry nutrients. Oceans have been dissolving rocks and carrying them to the sea for millions of years. That's why they're salty. All of it, the work of that small magnet. Take a deep breath. And feel this, right now, you are the product of a process spanning billions of years. The minerals dissolved from soil became the nutrients that formed you. The salts carried in your blood work through this same small magnet. Without water, you could not have become this. Now let's talk about something else. Something much more mysterious. Quantum tunneling. In the normal world, if you want to cross a barrier, you need enough energy. If you hit a wall, you can't pass through. You either turn back, jump over it, or hit it hard enough to break it. But in the quantum world, the rules are different. Very small particles can sometimes pass through barriers that should stop them completely. They don't collide. They don't jump. They simply appear on the other side. This is called tunneling. And the hydrogen atoms in water molecules can do this. Picture this in your mind's eye. There is a wall. A high-energy barrier. A normal particle cannot cross this wall. But that small hydrogen atom, like a cloud of probability. Both on this side and the other side. And sometimes, it suddenly appears on the other side. It passed through the wall. But how? Quantum mechanics says this. The particle is not exactly in one place. It's in a cloud of probabilities. And that cloud sometimes extends beyond the barrier. And the particle suddenly appears there. This sounds abstract, I understand. But the consequences are very concrete. Inside DNA, this tunneling happens. Hydrogen atoms sometimes tunnel through the bonds between DNA's two strands. And this can affect how DNA is copied, how mutations form. In enzyme function, this tunneling exists. Biological reactions cannot be explained by classical chemistry alone. Quantum effects also play a role. And in space, in cold molecular clouds, water can form through this tunneling. Even in environments too cold for reactions to normally occur, hydrogen atoms tunnel. And a water molecule is born. Take a deep breath. You too are the product of this tunneling. Every cell division in your DNA. Every protein synthesis. Every signal transmission. Behind all of them, this quantum dance. Invisible. Difficult to understand. But real. Now feel your body. The rhythm of your breath. The rise and fall of your chest. Your heart's quiet, steady beat. Those beats are not possible without water. The moisture in that breath comes from hydrogen bonds. The electrical signals that maintain your heart's rhythm, carried by ions in water. Right now, billions upon billions of water molecules, like the smallest magnets, are attracting each other. And this attraction is holding you together. One more thing. This polarity, this positive-negative division, has one more consequence. Water clings to surfaces. When a drop of water falls on glass, it spreads. Because water molecules bond with atoms on the glass surface too. The glass attracts them, they cling to the glass. This is called wettability. And this is a fundamental mechanism of life. How do plants take water from the soil and lift it to their topmost leaves? No pump. No motor. No mechanical system. Water rises on its own. Because those water molecules cling to the surfaces inside the plant's conducting tubes. And then the molecules that come after pull the ones before. And the ones after them pull those. A chain. Upward. Against gravity. And this chain can rise to the top of a 100-meter-tall tree. Just through polarity. Picture a forest in the theater of your mind for a moment. Large, old trees. Centuries-old trunks. A deep, silent forest. And inside those trunks, millions of thin tubes. In each one, water is rising. Silently. Continuously. Every second, every day, every year. For as long as the plant lives. And what carries that water? Those small magnets. That bent angle. Those positive and negative poles. The forest's silence is actually the sound of those molecules working. You cannot hear it. But you can feel it. Take a deep breath. And feel this, one of the smallest details in the universe, the molecule's angle. Creates such a large impact. One angle. A few degrees. And from it. Oceans flow. Forests grow. Your blood circulates. DNA copies itself. And you, tonight, are falling asleep. All the work of that small magnet. We drifted here from the power of the smallest magnet. We felt that bent angle. We saw the silent network of hydrogen bonds. We learned how polarity grows forests, carries blood, protects DNA. And now, we turn completely inward. Not outward. Not to space. Not to planets. To you. To what is happening right now, in this moment, in this body. Because what will surprise you most tonight, may be hidden closest to you. Take a deep breath. Let the breath slowly fill your lungs. Pause. And release. Feel your body. Completely. From head to toe. From your big toe to the end of your spine. Before thinking about what is happening inside that body, just feel its weight. Its warmth. Its faint pulse. This body is largely water. 60%. Perhaps more. And this water is not distributed equally everywhere. Think of your brain. That small, gray, folded structure. The home of all your thoughts, all your memories, all your dreams. 75% water. Nearly all of it water. And that water is not just a filling material. It does everything. Right now, your brain has billions of neurons, each communicating with others. Electrical signals passing between them. What we call thought is actually the dance of these signals. But how are these signals carried? Through water. Inside and outside neurons, there are ions. Sodium, potassium, calcium. And these ions are dissolved in water. They pass from one side of the cell membrane to the other. And this crossing generates an electrical signal. Everything you are thinking right now emerges from ions dancing in water. Picture this in your mind's eye. A neuron. Long, thin, branched. Like the image of a tree. A signal arrives. Starts at the cell's tip. And ripples forward. Sodium ions enter the cell, potassium ions exit. Water carries these ions. Speed, hundreds of kilometers per second. And this signal is part of a thought. Perhaps the understanding of these very sentences you are reading. Perhaps the surfacing of a memory. Perhaps the awareness of your eyelids growing heavy. All of it, a dance in water. Take a deep breath. And feel this, if your eyes are growing heavy, that heaviness too is water. As the brain tires throughout the day, the fluid between cells changes. A molecule called adenosine accumulates. It creates the desire for sleep. And during sleep, the brain flushes this fluid, cleans itself. Every night as you sleep, your brain is washing itself. With water. Now go a little lower. Think of the spine. That long, protective column. And inside it, cerebrospinal fluid. Largely water. This fluid surrounds the brain and spinal cord. Like a cushion. Like a buffer. Every movement of the head or body sends gentle waves through this protective sea, preventing injury and maintaining chemical balance. That same water delivers nutrients and removes waste, circulating continuously through hidden channels. Without it, even minor impacts could cause severe damage. And the nervous system could not regulate itself. Water protects your thoughts. Quite literally. And blood. That red, warm, constantly flowing river. More than half of blood is plasma. And most of plasma is water. Inside that water, red blood cells float. Nutrients dissolved. Oxygen carried. Carbon dioxide returns. Hormones carry messages. Immune cells patrol. Every second. Without stopping. A small pump, in your heart. And every time it beats, this water-filled river spreads throughout your body. Enter the theater of your mind. You are inside a vessel. Very small. Around you, giant red blood cells float. Plasma carries you, moves you forward. Everywhere, molecules. Oxygen, sugar, salt. All dissolved in water. All heading toward their destination. You approach a cell. That cell needs oxygen. And the blood is bringing it. Delivered. The cell breathes. And you continue forward. Take a deep breath. Can you feel your heart beating right now? Gently. Slowly. Every beat pushes that water forward, reaching billions of cells, and bringing it back, cleaning, renewing. Every beat of your heart, like an ocean wave. Small, but continuous, but vital. Now let's go even smaller. A single cell. Place it inside a balloon in your mind. Small, round, alive. Inside that balloon is full with various molecules, organelles, membranes. But between all of these, water. And that water creates pressure. A pressure from inside outward. This pressure gives the cell its shape. Keeps the cell standing. Allows materials to move in and out. This is called osmosis. Water moves from where concentration is low to where it is high. By itself. In millions of cells, every second. And this movement keeps you alive. Plants show this beautifully. Think of a fresh leaf. Firm, green, standing upright. That firmness comes from water pressure. Water is inside the cells. There is pressure. And this pressure holds the leaf upward. Cut the water. Wait a few hours. The leaf wilts. Droops. Falls. Water pressure decreased. And the leaf could no longer carry its own weight. You are the same. Every cell in you is held by water pressure. Every tissue retains its elasticity through water. Every organ stays in place through water. Take a deep breath. And feel this. The water inside you right now is not just lying there. It is working. Inside every cell. Inside every vessel. In every nerve. Constant motion. Constant work. But you don't feel it. Because water works silently. Now let's go to DNA. That double helix. The code of life. Coiled, packaged, protected inside the nucleus of every cell. DNA cannot work without water. Because the shape of that helix is maintained by water. The outer part of DNA loves water. Water molecules attach to that outer surface. Like armor wrapping around it. Holding the helix in the right shape. The inner part is the opposite. It doesn't like water. So it turns inward. Closes itself off. And these two opposing tendencies form that iconic double helix shape. Without water, DNA could not be a helix. And without a helix, it couldn't be copied, read, or function. Life stops. Now think of proteins. Proteins are long chains. Amino acids linked together. And these chains need to fold into specific shapes to function. Wrong folding, disease. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and many others, are associated with incorrectly folded proteins. What ensures correct folding? Water. Some parts of the protein love water. Some parts don't. Water-loving parts turn outward. Water-avoiding ones retreat inward. And this push-pull balance places the protein in exactly the right shape. Once folded, the same fluid stabilizes it, surrounding it like an invisible guardian. Without this environment, life's machinery would fail. Each fold is a dialogue between matter and moisture. Take a deep breath. This knowledge, does it comfort you? I feel that way. Everything already knows what to do. There is no plan inside the protein. No engineer inside the DNA. Only chemistry. And water. And water puts everything in the right place. You are the same way. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Sometimes you can't find direction. But the water inside you keeps working. Every cell folds. Every protein finds its shape. Every signal is transmitted. Water knows. Even if you don't feel it. Now something else. With every exhale, water leaves too. The inside of your lungs is moist. It moistens the air. And as you breathe out, that moisture goes too. Several hundred milliliters a day. Just from breathing. And it continues even while you sleep. Right now, with a deep exhale, a small part of you separates. Mixes into the air. Perhaps stays suspended in the room. Perhaps exits through the window. Perhaps joins a cloud tomorrow. Even as you sleep, you are giving water back. The cycle turns even during sleep. And tears. Picture this in the theater of your mind. A tear forms. In the corner of the eye. Slowly growing. And slowly flowing down. That small droplet is almost entirely water. But inside it is salt. Protein. Immune substances. And perhaps, the chemical trace of an emotion. When you cry from sadness, from stress, tears carry different substances. A different chemistry. When you cry from joy, another mixture. Tears are not just water. They are emotions dissolved in water. Take a deep breath. This knowledge always moves me. Water doesn't just carry the body. It carries emotions too. Joy and sadness pass through the same molecules. Through the same veins, the same cells, the same tear glands. Water treats all of them equally. Carries all of them. Lets all of them flow. What do you feel in your body right now? Weight? Lightness? Warmth? A slight tension somewhere? Every feeling is a signal in water reaching you. Every emotion, a reflection of chemistry in water. You are the ocean inside. And that ocean is calming tonight. Its waves are getting smaller. You are sinking deeper. Just as when descending from the ocean surface to the depths, the noise decreases. The light fades. And silence welcomes you. We drifted here from the ocean inside us. We felt water in the body. In blood, in the brain, in tears. We touched that silent, tireless ocean working inside cells. And now, we go outside. But not upward. Downward. Much downward. Because the world's greatest secret is hidden beneath what we can see. Take a deep breath. Let the breath fill your lungs. Slowly. And release. Right now, what is beneath you? Floor. Concrete, wood, soil. Perhaps a few meters of concrete. Perhaps a few meters of earth. And beneath that, more earth. Rock. Deeper rock. And beneath that, water. How much water is there in the world? A surprising amount. And the vast majority cannot be seen with the eye. 97% is in the oceans. Salty. Wide. Vast. The remaining 3%, fresh water. Drinkable water. What life directly feeds from. But the large majority of that 3% is ice. At the poles. In glaciers. On high mountain peaks. Frozen, inaccessible, centuries of accumulation. And the rest, mostly underground. Groundwater. Water hidden in the depths of the soil, between rock layers, in cavities invisible to the eye. These are called aquifers. Water tables. And around the world, these tables may contain nearly 30 times the water in the oceans. 30 times. All the vastness of the oceans, all the depth, all the weight. There is even more underground. Picture this in your mind's eye. You are standing on a plain. Flat, wide, appearing endless. Beneath your feet is soil. Hard. Perhaps looking dry. But 5 meters below that soil, there is water. 10 meters below, more. 100 meters below, an underground river. And perhaps 1,000 meters below, ancient water that seeped in millions of years ago, not having moved since, remaining from the Ice Age. Still there. Still waiting. We find these waters sometimes. We dig wells. We do drillings. And from below to above, that old water rises. Sometimes that water is rain that fell 1,000 years ago. Sometimes it is water from a glacier that melted 10,000 years ago. Sometimes, it is 40,000 years old, remaining from the last ice age. We don't know this when we drink it. Water from the tap. Water we drink from a bottle. Perhaps 40,000 years old. Take a deep breath. Take this idea inside. 40,000 years. That water waited underground. The dinosaurs had long been gone. Humanity had not yet discovered agriculture. People were living in caves. And that water waited quietly. Until we found it. Now go even further down. Below groundwater, there is something else. In the very deep layers of Earth's crust, inside rock. Millions of years ago, during the formation of the world, water entered inside mineral structures. Inside rock. In atomic scale spaces between crystal lattices. And it stayed there. When scientists discovered this, they were astonished. Because this amount of water could equal or even exceed the water in the oceans several times over. So the world's largest water reservoir is not the oceans. It is the depths of the Earth's crust. Think of Earth's mantle. Hundreds of kilometers deep. Stone. Rock. Magma. But inside those rocks, water. Not solid. Not free liquid either. Settled inside mineral structures. As hydroxyl groups. Held by chemical bonds. And that water sometimes becomes free. When volcanoes erupt. When earthquakes occur. When tectonic plates move. That freed water rises to the surface. Mixes into the atmosphere. And joins the cycle. Enter the theater of your mind. A volcano. Immense, blazing, billowing smoke. Lava flowing. But from inside that lava, water vapor is rising. Invisible. But real. Water coming from the depths of the Earth's crust. It entered long ago, now it's coming out. Every volcanic eruption is also a water message from underground. An old letter, sent from the planet's depths, to the surface. Take a deep breath. And now, go very far away. In your mind. Antarctica. The world's coldest place. Ice, ice everywhere. Ice kilometers thick. But beneath that ice. Water. The pressure of the ice sheet is so great, it is not enough to freeze the water beneath it. Pressure lowers the freezing point. And the internal warmth of the earth also helps. And so, beneath kilometers of ice ceiling, a lake has formed. Silent. Dark. Sealed from the outside world for millions of years, since before humans existed. They call it Lake Vostok. In the depths of Antarctica. Beneath the ice ceiling. A lake hundreds of kilometers long. When scientists discovered this, they trembled with excitement. Because that lake has been isolated for millions of years. What is inside? Perhaps nothing. Perhaps organisms that have never made contact with the outside world for millions of years. Following their own evolution, their own paths. Without sun. With almost no oxygen. Under immense pressure. When drilling was done, samples were taken. And microbes were found. Living. Active. Living there. See this in your mind's eye. Complete darkness. No sound. No light. Ice ceiling above. Pressing down with its weight. But in that darkness, there is life. Small, invisible, incredibly resilient life. Floating in water. Existing through water. Without water, it could not survive in this darkness. Take a deep breath. Sometimes you might feel this way too. Dark. Heavy. Alone. But the microbes in Lake Vostok have been there for millions of years. Without seeing light. Without connecting to the outside world. But still living. Just water. And water is enough. Now think of glaciers. Snow and ice accumulating at the poles, on high mountains. Years pass, layers form. New ones come on top. The ones beneath get compressed. And this compressed ice freezes time. Exactly so. Inside that ice, there are bubbles of old air. The chemistry of the atmosphere from thousands of years ago, preserved in those bubbles. Scientists extract ice cores. A thin cylinder. And by examining different layers of that cylinder, they can read the climate from 100,000 years ago. The water inside that ice is an archive. The world's memory. Take a deep breath. Now think. Right now on Earth, in how many different places, in how many different forms is water being stored? Ocean depths. Polar glaciers. Underground aquifers. Hidden lakes beneath Antarctica. Mineral water locked inside rock structures. Snow on high mountain peaks. All the same molecule. All part of the same cycle. But all belonging to a different time. Some fell as rain yesterday. Some seeped in 40,000 years ago. Some has been locked inside rock since the first days of the world. Time is frozen inside water. And water never disappears. Only changes. Feel your body. Your hands. Your feet. The slow rise and fall of your stomach. The water inside you right now, was once part of a glacier. Or once an ocean. Or once a cloud that rained on a mountain. And one day it will leave you. Go somewhere. But right now, it is in you. Waiting with you. Just like the lake beneath Antarctica. In the darkness. But alive. And perhaps what is hidden in these secret waters of the world is not only chemistry. Perhaps it is patience. Perhaps it is the will to continue. Perhaps it is life's insistence on finding a way even in the deepest darkness. Water knows this. It has known this for billions of years. We drifted here from the sea beneath the soil. We felt the hidden lake beneath Antarctica. We touched the millions of years old groundwater. We saw the time archive inside glaciers. And now, we go in the completely opposite direction. Upward. Much upward. From beneath the soil, to between the stars. Because water is not limited to this planet alone. It is part of a much larger story. Take a deep breath. Let the breath fill your lungs. Slow. Silent. And release. Think of the sky. If your eyes are closed right now, imagine the sky in that darkness. There are stars. Very far away. But there. And between those stars, there is water too. Let's start with the closest. Mars. The red planet. Cold. Windy. Looks dry. But when its surface is examined, a story is being read. Dry riverbeds. Deltas. Valleys showing that water flowed there billions of years ago. Plains that may once have been under ocean. And minerals. Minerals that can only form in the presence of liquid water. Rovers find these on the Martian surface. On Mars, there was water. Picture this in your mind's eye. Billions of years ago. Mars young. Its atmosphere thick. The sun somewhat closer. And on the red rocky surface, water flowing. Rivers. Lakes. Perhaps a shallow ocean. Near the North Pole. Clouds. Rain falling. Waves hitting the shore. For a moment. Mars looks very much like Earth. But then, everything changes. Mars is small. Gravity is weak. And with weak gravity, the atmosphere slowly escapes into space. Solar winds attack. Mars without a magnetic field remains defenseless. And as centuries, thousands of years, millions of years pass, the atmosphere thins. A thin atmosphere freezes the water. Or evaporates it. It can no longer remain as liquid. And those beautiful rivers dry up. But not everything goes. Today at Mars's poles, there is ice. Both water ice and carbon dioxide ice. Layered, wind-sculpted glaciers. Some scientists say, underground might have water too. In liquid form. Highly saline water with a low freezing point. A radar measurement, beneath the South Pole, found something. A liquid water signal. Take a deep breath. Perhaps right now on Mars, underground there is a lake. Dark. Cold. Salty. But perhaps, alive. Because we learned on Earth, life loves such places too. Now go even further. To Jupiter. There, orbiting Jupiter, are many moons. And one of them, is Europa. Europa has an icy surface. Smooth, brilliant, white. But on that surface there are cracks. Orange lines. As if someone drew lines on the ice. These lines, are traces of heat and movement coming from beneath the ice. And this, points to something. Beneath the ice, there is an ocean. Jupiter's immense gravity constantly compresses and expands Europa. These tidal forces, generate heat inside it. And that heat, keeps the ocean from freezing. Europa is a moon slightly smaller than Earth. But the ocean inside it, may hold twice as much water as all of Earth's oceans. Enter the theater of your mind. You are on Europa's surface. Ice. Ice everywhere. Silent. Frozen. But look beneath your feet. 10, perhaps 20 kilometers beneath that ice. There is an ocean. Salty. Dark. But warm. And perhaps at the bottom of that ocean, there are hydrothermal vents. Just like on the ocean floor of Earth. Hot, mineral-rich water gushing. Chemical energy exists. And perhaps there is life there too. Take a deep breath. This possibility always makes me pause. A small moon orbiting Jupiter. An ocean beneath the ice. And at the bottom of that ocean, perhaps organisms. We are here, on this small planet, trying to fall asleep. And there is another world there. In the darkness. But perhaps alive. Now go to Saturn. Inside Saturn's rings, there is a small moon. Enceladus. White. Brilliant. Small. Its surface ice. But look at the South Pole. From there, it is erupting. Water vapor. Ice particles. Salt crystals. Organic molecules. Erupting hundreds of kilometers high. And some of it joins Saturn's rings. Enceladus is breathing. Those eruptions come from the ocean inside the moon. Water rising through cracks, scattering into space. And in that water, scientists found organic molecules. Life's basic building blocks. In Enceladus's ocean, there are clues about life. See this in your mind's eye. In the dark universe, near Saturn's glorious rings, a small, white moon. And from there, like a white curtain, water erupting. Silently. Beautifully. Like a river flowing into space. Take a deep breath. And now, go much further away. Beyond the solar system. To planets orbiting other stars. Exoplanets. Telescopes look at those planets' atmospheres. As starlight passes through a planetary atmosphere, it absorbs certain wavelengths. And this absorption pattern tells what is in the atmosphere. And on many planets, a water vapor signal is found. Hundreds of light years away. Planets we will never see. But there is water there. This discovery changed everything. Once we thought, water is rare. Earth is lucky. Perhaps it doesn't exist anywhere else in the universe. But now we see, water is everywhere. Planets carry it in their atmospheres. It exists in interstellar clouds. It's in the ice of comets. Locked in asteroid minerals. Think of comets. Long, elliptical orbits. They approach the sun. And as they approach, they warm up. And with that warmth, their ice evaporates. The glowing tail is actually water vapor. And that water vapor is shaped by solar wind. Like a shining river stretching for millions of kilometers. In the solar system, every day, comets draw these rivers. They scatter water into space. And this water sometimes falls onto planets. Scientists think much of Earth's water came this way. Billions of years ago. Earth still young. And comets falling. Not one, not 100, but thousands. Each one carrying ice. Each one bringing water. And gradually, beginning to accumulate on Earth's surface. Oceans forming. Take a deep breath. The water you drink, perhaps came from a comet's ice billions of years ago. That comet may have formed outside the solar system. Formed around another star. And one day, it crossed paths with Earth. And left its water. For you. And now, we come to the greatest discovery. The year 2011. Astronomers observing a very distant quasar. An incredibly bright center powered by a supermassive black hole. And around that quasar, they discover something. A giant cloud of water vapor. So large, it is larger than our entire Milky Way galaxy. The amount of water inside it, more than 140 trillion times all of Earth's oceans. Stop. Pause for a moment. 140 trillion times. See this in your mind's eye. All of Earth's oceans. That vast blueness, that infinite depth. Gather them all together. Now multiply that by 140 trillion. This much water, in a single cloud. In a single place. And that cloud, existed on the other end of the universe, billions of years ago. What does this mean? Water is not rare in the universe. Water is one of the most common substances in the universe. Wherever hydrogen meets oxygen, water forms. And the universe is full of hydrogen and oxygen. Water is the natural outcome of the universe. And this says, the most basic substance needed for life, is everywhere. In distant galaxies. In clouds around young stars. In icy comets. In moons with hidden oceans. In every corner of the universe, water is waiting. Take a deep breath. Right now in this moment, how many stars are in the Milky Way? 200 billion. And how many galaxies in the observable universe? 2 trillion. And in each galaxy, 100 billion stars. And around many of these, there are planets. And on many of those planets, there is water. And is there life on all of them? We don't know. But water can exist on all of them. Feel your body. The slow rhythm of your breath. Your heart's quiet beat. The weight of your eyelids. You live in a tiny corner of that infinite universe. But the water in every corner of that universe, is in you too. Inside you, in your blood, in your cells. Both connected to the universe's most distant corner, and inside the warmth of this room. Both real at the same time. We drifted here from rivers flowing through space. We felt the water carried by comets. We imagined the ocean beneath Europa's icy shell. We saw that water exists in every corner of the universe. And now, we return. But this time we are not looking at the ground. Not at the stars either. We are looking at the surface. That thin, invisible, incredible boundary. Where water and air meet. Take a deep breath. Let the breath slowly fill your lungs. Pause. And release. Imagine a pool. Or a lake. Or a rain puddle. Its surface flat. Smooth. Like a mirror. But that surface, is actually a membrane. Invisible, but real. Stretched, elastic, strong. And on this membrane, there are worlds. Surface tension. We already know that water molecules attract each other. That network of tiny magnets. But what happens at the surface? A molecule at the surface has other molecules beneath it. To its sides. But above it, only air. So that molecule is pulled in 3 directions. But not pulled from above. And this imbalance pulls the surface inward, compresses it, makes it like a stretched membrane. And this membrane can hold surprising things. Picture this in your mind's eye. A garden after rain. Droplets on every leaf. But those droplets don't spread. They roll. Like perfect spheres. Because surface tension pulls water inward. Tries to minimize its surface. And the shape with the least surface area is a sphere. Those droplets are jewels created by the laws of physics. Each one perfect within itself. Each one, a work of surface tension. Now build another scene. A lake surface. Calm. Silent. The sun is setting. And there, something is gliding. An insect walking on water. A water strider. Small depressions forming beneath its feet. Pressing against the surface but not breaking through. That stretched membrane holds it. Long, thin legs. Microscopic hairs on the tip of each. Those hairs trap air bubbles to repel water. And the insect glides silently. With every step it sends small ripples. Those ripples might be sending a message to a nearby insect. A danger. A food source. An invitation. The water surface is both a floor and a communication network for them. Take a deep breath. And think, an insect lives trusting surface tension. For millions of years. On top of that molecular membrane. Having evolved to exactly the weight that won't break that membrane. Body weight, exactly at the limit. Nature perfected this balance over millions of years. Now enter the water. In your mind. Pass below the surface. And you will immediately notice one thing. Sound is different. In air, sound travels approximately 350 meters per second. But in water, 1500 meters per second. 4 times faster. Because water is dense. Molecules close together. Vibration transmits between them much faster. And this speed turns the ocean into a communication network. Whales. The blue whale. The world's largest creature. Its heart the size of a car. And its voice, louder than any machine built by humans. But we cannot hear that voice. Because its frequency is too low. Infrasound. Below the limit of the human ear. But water carries those sounds for thousands of kilometers. Enter the theater of your mind. In the ocean depths. Water on all sides. Light from above fades. Darkness increases downward. And from far away, a sound comes. Deep. Slow. Vibrating. A whale's song. It is coming from thousands of kilometers away. The ocean carried it. Without any loss, without any distortion. And another whale hears this song. Responds. 2 whales, an ocean apart. But talking. Water is their telephone. Take a deep breath. This always moves me. Loneliness sometimes feels so great. So vast. But whales find each other in a loneliness as vast as an ocean. Water connects them to each other. Perhaps we too, through invisible bonds, are closer to each other than we think. Now go even deeper. Far beneath the surface. Every 10 meters, one more atmosphere of pressure. At 100 meters depth, 10 atmospheres of pressure. At 1,000 meters, 100 atmospheres. At 10,000 meters, the depth of the Mariana Trench, 1,000 atmospheres. 1,000 atmospheres of pressure. That is, 1,000 times more pressure than the atmosphere on our surface. At that depth a steel sphere would crumple with a screech. Within a few seconds, would collapse. But there are organisms there. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, microorganisms live. No sunlight. Dozens of degrees cold. 1,000 times atmospheric pressure. But they are there. Feeding. Reproducing. Living. How? For thousands of years, organic matter has been falling to those depths from above. Remnants of dead plankton. Fish bones. Organic particles. And these microbes. Break down those remnants. Convert them into energy. At the bottom of the night sea, silently, life continues. Take a deep breath. The world's most extreme point. The darkest, coldest, most compressed place. And even there, life. Without water, this would be impossible. Even under that pressure, water continues to be a solvent. Continues to carry nutrients. Continues to allow chemistry. Water continues working under every condition. Now go to another place. To the ocean floor. But this time to a different point. Hydrothermal vents. Cracks in the ocean floor. Water heated by magma erupts at hundreds of degrees. But it doesn't boil. Because the pressure is so high, it doesn't evaporate. And in this erupting water, there are minerals. Sulfur compounds. Iron. Copper. Zinc. When it meets cold water, these minerals precipitate. Accumulate. Black or white chimneys form. Sometimes 20, 30 meters tall. And around these chimneys, another world. See this in your mind's eye. Darkness. Darkness everywhere. But around this chimney, there is light. Red, trembling, coming from the heat of the minerals. And in that light, organisms. Tube worms. Meter long. Red-tipped. Swaying in the current. Crabs. Small, fast, their eyes useless in the darkness but their other senses sharp. Snails. Armored. Using magnetic minerals for their shells. And beneath all of them, bacteria. The beginning of everything. Converting sulfur compounds into energy. Without sun. Without photosynthesis. Only with chemistry. This ecosystem is completely independent of the sun. And scientists think. Perhaps life began here. Billions of years ago. At the bottom of the first oceans. Around these chimneys. In warm, mineral-rich waters. The first cells may have taken hold in the chemical gradients of these vent environments, driven by heat and mineral energy instead of sunlight. Water, the place where everything began. Take a deep breath. And now. Rise to the surface. In your mind. Slowly. From the depths to the surface. From darkness to light. From cold to warmth. And as you approach the surface, you are standing in a bay at midnight. A warm night. Tropical. Silent. And you dip your hand into the water. And the water glows. A blue-green light. Intensifying with every movement. Around your hand, a glowing halo. Bioluminescence. Dinoflagellates. Microscopic organisms. When disturbed, they produce light. Every wave breaking. Every fish passing. Every person dipping a hand. The water glows. Picture this night in your mind. The bay is silent. Stars in the sky. And on the water surface, other stars. Blue, trembling, living stars. Flaring with every touch. Disappearing and reappearing with every wave. These organisms have been lighting this light for millions of years. To escape predators. To find each other. Simply to exist. And the result, one of the world's most beautiful sights. Take a deep breath. Surface tension. Insects walking on water. Microorganisms withstanding 1,000 atmospheres of pressure. Life at hydrothermal vents. Glowing plankton. All in the same place. Around the same molecule. Water holds this many different worlds simultaneously. On its surface. In its depths. At its edges. And you, right now, live inside all these worlds. The water inside you and the water at the ocean floor are the same molecule. The chemistry in your cells is related to the chemistry at hydrothermal vents. When you exhale, like bubbles rising to the surface, you release energy. How much there is beneath the surface? Beneath what can be seen. Beneath what can be understood. Beneath the known boundaries. Sometimes life is like this too. Looking from the surface, everything seems calm, flat, unchanging. But going deep, chimneys erupt. Organisms glow. Sounds travel thousands of kilometers. Water knows this. And perhaps, you know this too. We drifted here from the world beneath the surface. We felt the blue light of bioluminescence. We witnessed the dark miracle of hydrothermal vents. We saw that nothing truly disappears, only transforms. And now, we come to this journey's final stop. But the final stop is actually a return to the beginning. Because water never ends. It only turns. And in this final chapter, let us feel that turning. With our entire being. With all our silence. Take a deep breath. Let this breath be the deepest breath of tonight. Let your lungs fill completely. Pause. Wait for a moment. And very slowly, release. Feel your body. From head to toe. All its weight. All its warmth. All its quiet beats. Tonight we went very far. To supernovas. To the depths of Neptune. To Europa's icy ocean. To the bottom of the Mariana Trench. And now, we are here. In this moment. In this body. In this silence. Now I want to tell you one last thing. The simplest thing. The water cycle. Let us think of a raindrop. One drop. Tiny. Falls on a leaf. Slides off onto the soil below. And seeps into the ground. That drop's journey has just begun. Perhaps within a few days it joins a groundwater. Perhaps it surfaces from a spring. Perhaps it joins a river. In the river days, weeks, perhaps months it flows. From mountains to plains. From plains to the delta. And the delta meets the ocean. And that drop merges with the ocean. The ocean doesn't keep it long. The sun warms it. And that small drop evaporates. Becomes invisible. But doesn't disappear. Rises. Mixes into the atmosphere. And somewhere, meets a cold surface. Becomes a cloud droplet. Grows. Gets heavier. And as rain, falls again. But not every drop returns this quickly. Some drops choose very different paths. Picture this in your mind's eye. A drop falls on a mountain slope. Mixes with snow. And slowly freezes. Becomes part of a glacier. In that glacier, it may spend thousands of years. New snow comes on top. Presses. Compresses. And that drop gets buried deeper. 10 years. 100 years. 1,000 years. And one day, the climate changes. The glacier begins to melt. And that drop, after hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, flows again. Joins a river. The same water. Unchanged. Only turned. Now feel this. Everything I told you tonight is part of that cycle. Hydrogen coming from the Big Bang. Oxygen from the stars. Water carried by comets. Drops falling into Earth's oceans. Evaporating from the ocean. Becoming cloud. Becoming rain. Seeping into the soil. Entering a plant's root. Exiting through a leaf. Entering an animal. Mixing into its blood. Being breathed out. And again, to the cloud. This cycle has been turning since Earth existed. Without stopping. Without ending. And in every cycle, the same molecules. Just in different places. Think of the forest. Large, old trees. Century-old trunks. A silent, deep forest. Inside that forest is water. Inside every tree. In millions of thin tubes from the roots upward, water is rising. Against gravity. Through the chain of hydrogen bonds. Upward. And from the leaves, slowly evaporating. Every large forest gives thousands of tons of water to the atmosphere each day. This water becomes cloud. Becomes rain. Becomes river. The forest creates its own rain. Life nourishes its own cycle. Enter the theater of your mind. You are inside that forest. Trees all around. Early morning. There is mist. That mist is the tree's breath. During the night, water that came out of the leaves condensed in the cold morning air. And remained suspended inside the forest. With every breath you take, you breathe in that mist. Breathing the tree's breath. And the tree takes your breath. Water connects you to each other. Take a deep breath. And now, return to yourself. You too are part of this cycle. You always have been. The water you drink. The moisture you breathe out. Sweating skin. Flowing tears. All going back. All joining the cycle. You are a temporary but precious resting place in the universe's great water cycle. Now let me tell you one last thing. Something very simple. But it may be tonight's deepest truth. The water you drink was once a dinosaur's breath. Was once Cleopatra's tear. Was once ice on a Himalayan peak. Was once the waters of the Amazon. Was once ocean water carrying a whale's song. And now, it is in you. No new water. Not being created. Not being formed. Only turning. And this turning connects you to everything. To every living thing. Every tree. Every ocean. Every cloud. every raindrop. Picture one last scene in your mind's eye. Night. Rain is falling outside. Silent, light, rhythmic. The sound of the drops. Passing through the window. Reaching your ears. And you, listen to this sound. Each of those drops comes from a journey of billions of years. From the Big Bang. From stars. From comets. From oceans. From glaciers. From forests. And now, to this night. To this silence. To you. Take a deep breath. Perhaps the last breath, for tonight. Let it fill you inside. Slow. And release it. Very slowly. Your eyes already heavy. Good. Thoughts slowing down. Good. Your body settling, deepening. Good. Tonight we went many places together. To the universe's first seconds. To exploding stars. To the depths of Neptune. Inside a snowflake. To neurons in your brain. To the hidden lake beneath Antarctica. To Europa's icy ocean. And in all of them, there was water. In all of them, the same molecule. In all of them, the same story. And that story continues in you. With every breath. With every heartbeat. In every cell. Water carries you. Water connects you. Water remembers you. Because you too are part of water. And water never ends. Feel your body one last time. Heavy. Calm. Still. Breath slowing. Heart rhythm settling. And water, inside you, still flowing. Silently. Faithfully. Endlessly. Just like everything flows. Just like time flows. Just like starlight reaches us across billions of years. Continuity is water's essence. And tonight, you rest inside that continuity. If this quiet journey touched you, you can leave a like, subscribe to the channel. You will have helped others find this silence too. One sleepy soul at a time. But now, words end. Let the silence speak. Let the water flow. And you, drift. Good night, traveler. In the deep waters, beautiful dreams.